So Boxing Freaks here with Willie Classen Jr. Some of the guys on the page had several questions. They'll have to forgive me because I can't remember their names right now. But the first question they wanted to ask was, you know, despite losing your father at a very young age, how do you feel about the changes that were implemented in boxing as a result of losing your father in the ring?
Well, the changes is great. Right now, after every boxing match here in the U.S., there's got to be an ambulance present, and it had to take my father's life for that to happen. Because when my father uh, got killed that night in the ring in 1979, there was not one ambulance present that day. But today, it's called the Classen Rule, and there's an ambulance and a doctor present, and a real doctor, not a doctor that operates on animals and stuff like that that they had that same night uh, when my father got into that serious boxing match that night.
Looking back now, like, what do you think, you know, could have been different that night that would have allowed your father to still be here with us? Like, had there been an ambulance there, you think, he'd be with us today?
The What would have been a big difference for my dad that he would have been with us today is that my father had fought in London. Uh, I believe it was a week before the fight, before this fight, and he got knocked out in London, and he would have been alive today because he would have never got the fight against Wilfred Scipion. And because once you get knocked out, I believe like they give you like 5-6 months before you can fight your next fight. And my father definitely got knocked out in London, and he was just they his manager at that time was his name is Minuto. Let him rest in peace. Uh, they took this fight at the Garden with Wilfred Scipion.
All right. Do you see anything currently in boxing that you think that could change to improve, fighters' health and conditions?
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of these fighters right now, need to they doing these sparring session, all these fights, but there's these crystals in your ear that a lot of fighters, because I'm also a personal trainer, and I train a couple of amateur fighters, and they get dizzy constantly. And what happened is they sparring a lot, and these crystals in your ears, they not evening it out. And you definitely, these fighters need to start going to see the doctor when they just, because sometimes they just standing around, they feel dizzy and they don't know why. But it's because they taking serious headshots, and it's knocking their crystals from their eardrums. I don't know too much knowledge of it, but one of my clients who's actually a brain surgeon, she was explaining it to me, and also my wife, who was in a serious car accident, was getting these sick from the impact, so they had to put these crystals and balance them out again. So these fighters that's doing some serious sparring and could be in their house sitting down and they happen to feel dizzy, they need to go see a doctor immediately.
All right, good. And finally, if fans want to find out more about your dad and follow you, how can they find out more information on your dad, and how can they see fights on him and get information on him? And then finally, how can they get in contact with you or follow your work? And
Definitely. Right now we on the works of having a website. It's called the boxingfeud.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Willie Classen, at Willie Classen, WILLIE CLASSEN. Um, and I'll be on Twitter. You can follow my wife, Susan Classen, and she's on Facebook. She's also a photographer, and she does a lot of amateur boxing photography for the young fighters up and coming. But right now, I got a lot of video of my dad, like Vito Anafermo, but those are videos that are real sacred to me. And I know they got some stuff on YouTube, but I got the VHS, the real deal.
nice.
I got some definitely good old footage and stuff like that. But follow me on Twitter, and I'll follow you back, and we can talk from there.
Great.
Definitely have no problem with that.
Any chance we can later on upload some of those VHS onto YouTube?
Definitely soon, soon, soon. Hopefully, if it's not YouTube, you'll be definitely downloading them from boxingfuel.com.
All right, great. Well, thanks a lot for your time and for this interview.
Definitely, thanks.